Do you dream about finding deep targets? Well, it's time to wake up. Introducing the XP Xtrem, the world's first multi-frequency twin box metal detector. Hello, thank you for joining me. Well, today I'm going to be using the new Xtrem Hunter from XP. First of all, we're going to build the machine up and then we're going to do some testing. This is going to be interesting. So when you get the XP Xtrem, it will come in this lovely hard case. Now, building up the Xtrem is really simple. You've got the two pieces of frame, you've got two coils, you've got a handle, and in this case, I've got the RC. So let's quickly construct this machine just to show you how easy it is. First of all, we need to take the coil with the wire, feed it through, and then attach the frame with the two screws. There you go. So we have a selection of screws here, all different sizes, so make sure you get the right size screw in the right position. So I just speed this one up. Two screws in here. That's the front coil assembled. So once the first coil is connected to the frame, you're now going to see the wire. So the idea of this exercise is to pass the wire through the second frame once we've fitted the handle carrier on first, and then bring it out of this hole just here. So we've got a puller bung here to help us. So let's give it a try. This is probably the trickiest part of the build. Slide them together and you'll see there straight away the puller bung has come out. So we need to get this wire out of the hole. And this can be a little bit tricky, but I've got it first time. So what I'm going to do now is just put a screw in there just to hold that into place. And I'll put the second screw in a minute. So connecting the coil's really easy. Just line the pins up. Make sure they've got a good connection. And then just gently tighten the plug up. Slot that together, simple, and we use these two long screws now to connect the front coil. There's one. They don't have to be really tight, just nip them up gently. And while I'm talking about the front coil, you'll probably notice there that we've got the charging pod. Now, XP are now using a USB-C, the latest USB, to charge it. Of course, all this will come with the machine. Okay, so let's just put the last screw in here. Perfect, we're all done. Let's attach the handle. Just like your conventional XP, that adjusts the height and the carrier can be adjusted to find the balance point just with the same sort of clip. So just slot that in, a single screw, all done. So now all you need to do is connect your RC and that's your Xtrem all built up. So let's go and do some testing. Before we start using the Xtrem, we need to do a little bit of housekeeping. We need to make sure there's nothing metallic on our person or it'll affect the operation. Metallic items such as belt buckles, shoes, mobile phones, spades, you can't carry them when you're using the Xtrem. Just a little note about shoes. Most hiking shoes contain a wire mesh within the sole, so it's a good idea to just put your MI6 pinpointer over the sole of your shoes just to make sure they haven't got a metal mesh inside them. Make sure when you use the Xtrem that there's no EMI. Don't use it in industrial areas, underneath power lines, in your garden, for example, in your house. It just won't work. You need to be in an open area free of EMI because this machine, well, it's got two big aerials, so it's going to be really, really sensitive. And finally, testing. Now, don't test this machine with targets above the coils. Don't lay the machine at 90 degrees and test targets to the side. This machine has to be operated on a flat plane, so always test your targets underneath the coils. So as you can see there, we've dug the hole. What I'm going to do now is go over the empty hole with the XP Deus 2 13-inch coil and with the twin box and see if it gives a signal on the empty hole. So this is a control for our experiment. And if all that goes well, we're going to place these 2 kilos of highly conductive targets in the bottom of the hole and let's see what machine gets it. Okay, let's first try the Deus 2 with a 13-inch coil in the relic program, because the relic program is going to give you the best chance possible. There's absolutely no iron rejection with disc IAR at 0. But I forgot to mention earlier, we've particularly dug a hole here because there's a piece of surface iron very close to it. And this is going to be a great time to demonstrate how the Xtrem ignores the surface iron and sees the deep target. So our surface iron is just there and the hole is just here. So bear that in mind with the surface iron. So okay, let's go over the empty hole now. And I'm pretty sure that we will get a faint murmur, but I want you to remember that for the horde experiment. Can you hear that? Woo 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 woo. That's just the machine picking up the empty hole. Here we go with the XP Xtrem. It's all turned on, it's done a noise cancel, it's ready to go. Listen how stable that is. It's just a lovely hum in the background. So what I'm going to do now is walk towards the hole, but remember I'm going over that surface iron first. Surface iron, nothing. Hole, nothing. Let's do that again. Retune it. Surface iron, hole, nothing. So that was the control experiment all done and dusted. Now it's time to put the 2 kilos of highly conductive coins into the bottom of the hole and try the Deus 2 first of all. XP Deus 2 13-inch coil, relic program. First of all the surface iron and then the buried coins. Here we go. No iron rejection here at all. And now let's go over the hoard of buried coins. We've still got that murmur from the empty hole, haven't we? But it's not detecting the coins. Okay, time for the Xtrem. Apologies, my trousers keep falling down, I haven't got a belt. And also what I said earlier about the metallic targets about your person. We've got a radio mic on, so I've had to mount it on the back of my neck, but we're still pushing our chances. So first of all with the Xtrem, ground balance it. Press the button, nod it down, get a ground number, bring it up. Now we're ground balanced, so let's try this target. Remember that iron on the surface. Here we go. No problem at all, was it that? So let's try it a little bit higher. It still gets it, that's fantastic. So let's have a look at those coins. Oh, it's a long way down. And let's have a little talk about these particular targets. Well, this isn't an easy target to find because all the coins are isolated from each other. If you had a large hoard, for example like the Jersey hoard, which was one big mass, the depth capabilities on this machine, well, the sky's the limit really. So if these coins were all fused together, you get a lot deeper. So this is a particularly difficult target. The XP Xtrem has got a feature called disc IAR, and it's iron rejection based on signal intensity. Very similar to your Deus 2, Deus 1 and your ORX. So at 0 you have no iron rejection, at 1 you've got mild iron rejection. At 5 you've got maximum iron rejection. In front of me here I've got a spade, which is a ferrous target. I'm just going to let you listen to the audio tone from the iron. And it may be worth noting, because this is a surface target, you get a double bleep, what I call a tail. So when you go over the target, you get the tone, and then a metre or so onwards, you get the second tone, which is telling you it's a target near to the surface. It doesn't necessarily have to be ferrous, it could be non-ferrous as well. So just keep a lookout for those double bleeps. Here we go, the ferrous target. And that's the tail. If you want to see what the Xtrem can really do, let's go over to the XP test bed and see how it performs on a wide range of targets. Well, the object of this video was to really demonstrate how when your conventional detector runs out of depth, the Xtrem can take over. And also search height is really important because it ignores surface targets such as small nails. Whereas your conventional detector will be confused by surface targets and it won't allow it to penetrate deeper past those. I found one really good way of using the Xtrem is to go out in the field and find what you think are deep targets. Mark them off and then go back with the XP Deus 2. Now if the Deus 2 can't get those targets, well then they're potential diggers. If the Deus 2 can get the targets, well then you can use your discrimination to better identify the targets. But don't forget the Xtrem has got disc IAR, which will give you a good indication on some iron. And now comes the burning question, is this detector for you? Well, only you can answer that one. All I will say is it's a specialist tool for a specialist job. If you think you've got the ground which will warrant a deep seeking detector, well then it's the machine for you. But hopefully in the next few videos we'll be going into the more technical side of the Xtrem. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.